So let's start at Braemar. Anglicised already, because it's Bray, which is like Scottish Bray.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mar. But Mar was an old Celtic regional name,
Mm-hmm.
which included a huge area down into Deeside and lower Deeside. So Braemar was Braemar, which was the upland of Mar.
Uh-huh.
The var sound coming from MH, because it was a genitive case. And you get the same name appearing in Craigie Var, the castle,
Mm-hmm.
as far down as that. And then you had Cramar,
Mm-hmm.
Howe Cramar, near Tarland. That was the sheepfold of Mar. So these are the Mar names. Other regional names were Murray, Buchan, Angus.
Mm-hmm.
These are all ancient names. So that Braemar was Braemar, the upland of Mar. And the village had two parts. One was east of the Cluny, and it was called Castleton. And in Gaelic it was Balachastil. And then west of the Cluny was what's called Achendrain.
Mm-hmm.
But in the local Gaelic was Achendroin,
Mm-hmm.
which was the field of the thorn.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was the fountain of the town of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in Braemar, you're looking up at Morone,
Mm-hmm.
which often had the name Morven,
Yes.
though that name's tended to die out. But I mean, it just meant big hill. And same as the one down Deeside,
Mm.
and the one in Caithness.
Mm-hmm.
It was relatively big compared with those.
Mm.
Morone looks a bit like more strong, which is a big nose,
Yeah.
but some doubt about that.
Yeah.
And you look the other way, down to the end of the tail, you've got Craig Heinrich, which is thought to mean Kenneth Craig, from an early king that came up there.
Mm-hmm.
But often names are just descriptive.
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to think it just meant the mossy rocky hill.
Yeah.
The rocks have a lot of moss on them, which it has.
Yeah.
We spoke about Invercargill. That's an anglicised name. In Gaelic it was Invercargill,
Uh-huh.
without the D. And although its spelling in Gaelic is I-N-V-B-H-I-R, which normally BH would be pronounced like a V.
Mm-hmm.
But very often it was just Inyar.
Right.
And
Right.
that type of name still survives in Leithen,
Right.
where you don't pronounce the V.
Yeah.
So
Instead of Inver, which is what most people would say,
it's Inyar.
it's Inner. Yeah.
Well, anglicised to Inner.
Yeah.
Inyar in Gaelic.
Inya.
And so the village in Inverai was Inyarai,
Mm.
with the EI as in height.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes mispronounced as if it's Glen I
Yeah.
and Inverai,
Yes.
but it's EI as in height. Inyarai and the Glenai. And Glen in the Braemar area was pronounced, it was a double N, pronounced almost like an NG. Glenai. Glengay.
Like Glen. Not like Glen.
Aye.
Glen.
And coming out of Braemar, well, before you come out of Braemar,
Yep.
if you're coming into Braemar, you're looking up at Morone,
Yep.
and there's a huge quarry as far as the skyline.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't have a name on the OS map. The quarry around the corner to the west is named Cornamuch, which is the quarry of the pigs on the OS map, but that's incorrect. Cornamuch is the one that you see from approaching Braemar from the Braemar Castle, and also the top of Chapel Bray.
Right.
It's that huge quarry that goes as far as the skyline.
So it sort of faces Braemar.
Faces Braemar,
Yeah.
Cornamuch, so the pigs.
Yeah.
And on the ridge there's a sharp ridge which you can see very well from coming into Braemar from the Braemar Castle.
Uh-huh.
Rocky ridge. When you go up to it, it's about the height of this room.
Mm-hmm.
Huge slabs of rock, very unusual feature, and it's almost like masonry. And the local people had the story that this was Taina Caliach Verach, which Caliach Verach was the thunderbolt or wild woman, old woman, a witch. And it's Irish folklore as well, and she appears in other places. And this was her house.
Mm-hmm.
And I've even had Johnny Stammers, who used to have the grocery.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him telling me once when I was young and had bright red hair, and he said, Anna, you'd better watch yourself if you go up Maron towards the Carrier Susie.
Mm.
They say she likes red-headed lads. So this is a warning not to go there.
Yeah.
But she didn't understand these dry gullies which are formed by glacial
Yeah.
rivers.
Very steep and very narrow.
And so they invented stories about them.
Sure.
And that was the Caliach had attempted to cut away from D to dawn with her teeth. So the manners is quite. And if you come down into Glenfingie, down to the west,
Mm-hmm.
off the Gairn-Shields Road, there's great stone circles.
Right.
Not with stones sticking up, but like to keep animals in.
Yeah, pen.
Huge
Yeah.
on the hillside. And these were the bulch and the Caliach Verach,
Right.
the folds of the
Right.
wild.
Are these
boar.
natural or human made?
They were human made. I
Right,
think.
yeah. So it was like maybe
Yeah.
ancient
Early drawing.
sheep pens or cattle pens or
Early
something.
drawing, I think.
Okay.
So that was that. Now, as you go up out of Braemar, on the road to Inverray, the first house you come to on the right is called Greenfield,
Uh-huh.
but the old name for it was Allanagirk,
Yes.
which was the plain of the hens,
Right.
Circe, but after an N, it's easier to make it a G.
Yes.
And Gaelic constantly was doing this.
Yeah. Make it easier to
Make
say.
it what's called eclipses.
Yeah.
So Allanagirk, and then you got Mellacool, and then you're round the corner. You've got Allan Moor on the right,
On the far side of the valley.
on the far side, and that was and Dallan Moor,
Mm-hmm.
because it was A-N-T apostrophe, and that made it a D easier to see.
Yeah.
The big plain,
Yes.
because it was completely flat.
Mm-hmm.
And further up you've got Allan Coich.
Uh-huh.
Not Alan Coich, as in
Yeah.
the West map, but just
Right.
Allan Coich, the plain of the Coich.
Yeah.
Further up on the other side of the Coich, you had a farm called Cricken,
Uh-huh.
or Cragan, on both sides. That just means the rocky little hill. And a lot of the roads, a lot of the stones were used to make the road by
Mhm.
roadmen, but you can still see the remains of it.
There's a big lump of rock there under the trees.
That's right, and it was destroyed. The farm was destroyed by the big flood in the 1800s.
Right. Right. 1829, the Muckle Spate.
You know, the bit west of Coic was regarded as the best farm,
Yeah.
and it was threatened by having shingle on top of it.
Yeah.
And then the ridge that comes down west of the Cragan, all the way to the Dee, was Braemar, the ridge of the Cragan.
And where's that? Does that come down off the hill?
It's between the road and the river.
Ah, so it's just
west of the Cragan.
so it's below the road and it's just
it's
a
got a
rocky ridge.
plantation of trees on it,
Oh, that's Drumcragan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
and it's got a rock at the end of it, like a little fresh base, and a very good green just below it, with the air graze.
Yeah.
Then going out there, you've got 2 lay-bys on the road, where there didn't used to be lay-bys. You know, straightened the road.
Yes, straighten the road and left.
That's right. So now, where the road was straightened was called Linn Yall. And Ray is a flat bit of ground. So that was the white little flat bits of ground.
Right.
And white meant grass.
All right.
Because very common in Gaelic and in Scots,
Mm-hmm.
a black hill is a heather hill.
All
And a
right.
white hill is a grassy hill.
Ah,
I mean, you get that even in lowland Scotland, like the Hulls and down that way.
okay.
So, Linn Yall, it's a name that's extinct in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But Ian Grant gave it
Yeah.
to us.
So would these be like little meadows or something beside the
Little
road?
meadows,
On the old road when it was
which
just
were
like
wrecked
track.
by the straightening and by the new lay-bys.
Yeah.
Now, the first lay-by, you look down and there's a ruin down below you towards the Dee.
Yeah.
That was Ardjerrig.
Ardjerrig.
Ard being promontory or a point, sometimes means high. But in that case, I think it was just a point.
Yeah.
And that was an early Catholic chapel
Yes.
during the time when Catholics were being persecuted.
Yes.
It was also a farm. The second lay-by, you look down, and there's you see ruins there. That was Alta Chlar,
Uh-huh.
Chlar being a bit of level ground.
Right.
And there's not much, but there is a wee bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot towards the Dee, but it gets flooded.
Yes.
And the burn there is Alta Chlar. And the wee waterfall up towards the road is S Alta Chlar.
Mm-hmm.
EAS, meaning the waterfall. S. And the quarry up in Barone, high above,
Mm-hmm.
is Cor Alta Chlar. And Braemar Gaelic, Anstance Bay, you didn't pronounce the E at the end of C-O-I-R-E.
Right.
It was just Cor.
Cor.
As you come further round Barone, towards the west, there was another quarry in there, which the map got wrong. They called it Cornam F-R-E-U-M-H,
Yes.
which means roots. Now, in the local Gaelic, that would have been called Conavrev, but locally it was called Conanrag, with a nasal sort of sound.
Uh-huh.
Meant the same thing,
Roots.
roots. Then you've got a hill with rocks, which is Carnmore, and then there's a gap through to Glenay,
Uh-huh.
which is Glach Youngton. And then the hillock on the right of it is Down Youngton. On the map it's A-N-T-H-O-N, that's wrong.
Yeah.
It was like E-A-N-N, but it meant Anthony.
Yes. So it's the Gaelic version of Anthony.
That's
is that right? Yeah.
And so the glach, a glach is a long hollow on one side. And when you come to the end of it, there's no hollow.
Right.
It was usually caused by a meltwater channel
Yeah.
from the ice.
I mean, Glach is quite a common place now
Very
for
common.
where a burn is running.
That's right. And in lowland Scotland, you'll get it as glach.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's lots of them in Angus
Yeah.
and Strathmore.
Now, the houses along there, the last house towards the bridge
Yeah.
used to be called the Roaring Stag.
Yes.
It's been changed in here.
Yeah.
Corrie Mulsey, anglicised, an interesting name because with his head, and in fact, it's not an English said, but an old Scots said,
Mm-hmm.
which is pronounced like the Y in U. You get it again in Capercailzie,
Mm-hmm.
which is a common spelling for the Capercailzie.
Dalrullion.
Dalrullion, and we've got another one now.
And Mingus.
Mingus, aye, you're good. Aye. Now so it was Carmulye, you see,
Yeah.
clearly.
Mully.
Aye. But in the local pronunciation, it was Carvulye. It
Vulye.
was MH. So it was aspirated and it becomes a V sound. Carvulye. And that meant a quarry fit for driving a mill.
Uh-huh.
Moulin is a mill. And the waterfall there is S. Carvulye.
Yeah.
You know, the big waterfall.
Yeah.
Then the farm further up the Bray there is Braegary, anglicised.
Mm-hmm.
It was Braegary,
Mm-hmm.
which was the upland of the wall.
The wall.
Wall, Garag, and it was a wall. Gary. Garag, G-A-R-A-D-H.
What's the wall then?
Well, it could be a stone wall.
Just saying that there's a stone wall there or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I mean, and if you know Ben Nevis in the northeast cliffs, these colossal cliffs, there's one place called Garanakicht. And it was the wall of the chest.
Uh-huh.
And there's Garanakicht there as
Yeah.
well. So that was not man-made. It's
Right. So
natural.
yeah.
It's
So
like a wall of cliff.
sure. So it might be a cliff or a
That's
wall
right.
or something that looks like a wall.
And the hill, the wooded hill to the right of that, to the west,
Uh-huh.
is Crickneach, which means the rock of the raven.
Yes.
And there's a precipice straight above the Victoria Brig. It's almost vertical,
Right.
where ravens have bred, and also peregrines. And so that's Crickneach. And Old Manor Lodge was, at one time, was at Carvulye,
Yeah.
just above the waterfall on the flat ground there. And they had a little dam to make electricity for the lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And the station's still down there by
Yes.
the bottom. It's been renovated recently, causing a hell of a mess. But there was a wide footpath going from the Old Man Lodge down below Crickneach,
Yes.
and it came out just at the back of the cottage at Victoria Brig.
Uh-huh.
And up there, well up that, is a place called the Foghouse,
Yes.
which I've got in the book. And that was just a strange habit they had in late Victorian times. The toffs would have this semi-building of stones
Mm-hmm.
with moss,
Mm.
often facing north.
Mm.
And they'd go there for tea and so on.
Sort of like a grotto kind of
It's
thing.
in a grotto, and
Yeah.
there's one in the tobacco and Rickald house, and there's one in Balmoral, and that was that one. The best one I know is in the Garchy, above the Garchy Brig.
Right.
You know, there's a huge gorge there, and the path must have been blasted out with dynamite.
And where's that? I don't know that place.
It's on the road just outside Edsall.
All right.
You know, there's the North S comes down.
Uh-huh.
The bridge is called the Garchy Brig.
Right. Okay. So
Garchy Lodge is just below.
Kincardineshire. Is that right?
It's
Angus?
yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
Angus on the south side,
Uh-huh.
and so that was the most elaborate one.
Mm.
And I mean, the path is you're actually, you know, even a person who's suffering from vertigo could walk safely along there.
Right.
There's a stone ramparts all the way along.
Mm.
That's an extraordinary place.
Mm.
Anyway, that was a Foghouse.
Uh-huh.
And the Bray down to the Victoria Brig was locally called the Mar Bray.
Mm.
Brae's often had a name because in the days of walking and cycling, you know, it's the horses, it was more of an effort.
And you would take notice of it more as well.
Now, the Earl of Fife in the around early 1790s, on my lodge, he planted trees at the Craigineer. He was the one that planted the whole place. He organised it.
Is that mostly larch?
It's larch, not Sitka, Norway spruce and pine.
Right.
And so the Marbury it used to be much darker than it is now.
Sure.
Because the trees widened the road. But it's still dark coming around the corner.
Yeah.
And locally that was called Meal Dorach, which was the dark male.
Yeah.
It's been anglicised and distorted to the second cottage you come to just beside the D is called Meal Dorach Cottage, but it was really Mildorach, the dark male. And the wee pink painted hussy was the Stuffer's cottage. He was employed full time as a stuffer at my lodge for the deer, so he lived there. Then you're now round to Inverray, anglicised, and you've got Muckle Inverray up to the I Bun, and then Little Inverray beyond, the well-known names. These were Inverray Vor, Inverray Vic. Just the Gaelic pronunciation.
For big and little.
Big and little. And then the I was, I Bun was Uishk A, which is water of A. Uishk. U-I-S-G-E, but you don't pronounce the E. And at the Brig of I, you're looking at a steep slope above you, which is now all enclosed in a wood. That was Craig Hatch, Craig of the Cat, or the Wild Cat, really.
Yeah, alright,
yeah. And at one stage, the colonel who was the rebel and was chased by the Redcoats, he was...
John Parkerson.
He was there.
He head out there.
Head out there. You know, he had Inverray Castle, of course, as well.
Yeah.
Castile Inverray. And then he was head out at the colonel's bed,
Yes.
the rocky up then which is Lieppe Cornell, Lieppe being a bed. And the keeper's house on the left, there, just above the car park at Inverray, was anglicised the Knock. But locally, and at Speyside as well, CNOK was pronounced like KR.
Right.
Because easier to say than Canuck. It's easier to say Croc.
Croc.
So it was, the Knock was in Croc. And another case of it is on the south of Loch Innick. There's a loch called Loch Nan Knappen. It looks like Knappen.
Yeah.
But that became Krappen. Almost like an aspiration. Loch Nan Krappen, you know, that was it.
Right.
And you get that sound coming in the Rossshire as well. You know, the big Skunalapik, you know, the big hill north of Loch Malarder, was locally Skunavachpik. Actually pronounced the CH there. It's made it easier to say. So that was the Croch. First time I heard it from Mrs. Bain, I thought, what the hell is that? And I realised it was what we call a knock. Then you're round at past Inverray. I haven't bothered with the names of the pools in the river because it's empty. But then you come to a cottage called, that was the youth hostel.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was the moor there, before the trees were planted in the pinewood there,
Right.
was called Sliu Ericher,
Right.
which meant Farcher's Moor.
Right.
Sliu in the East Highlands means a
Yeah.
moor.
So that's at the back of what used to be the youth hostel. That
Yeah.
flat ground.
And
Okay.
you still have what's been anglicised to Muir Cottage.
Your cottage. Yeah.
It's the Cairngorm
Yeah.
hut, because it's on that moor as well.
Yeah.
And locally that was just called the moor, not Muir.
Yeah.
Which that's
Mhm.
central belt way of doing it. And then the Devon side we would call a moor, a mere.
Mhm.
But that's a more lowland type.
Yeah.
Sliu Ericher was Farquhar's Moor. And then you're up at what used to be the Canadian Brig
Yeah.
and Linn Cottage, and then the Linn Cottage.
Mhm.